All right, welcome. It is June 2022, and we're at Island Drafting and Technical Institute, CAD 1B class, and we're going to draw the coupler today and answer the 5 questions that are attached to it. So you always want to read the paragraph at the top. The paragraph at the top says, use the units command to change the number of decimal places past the 0 from 4 to 2. So you type units. Got to spell it right. There you go. And it says decimal. And there's 4 spots. Let's change that to 2 spots. That's 1. There's 2. 0.00, hit OK. Keep the remaining units command default values. Begin the drawing. The center of the 150 millimeter diameter circle at the absolute coordinate 180, 120. So I'm going to put object as my current layer. Pick the circle command. And at the command line, it's saying circle, bold, uppercase. So you're in the circle command. So that's what that's signifying. After that, it says specify the center point for the circle. The direction just told us the center point is 180, 120. And then you hit enter. I'm really close up. Let me zoom out a little bit. 180, 120. There you go. Now, when the directions, it really said 180.00, 120.00. If it's 0.00, you don't have to put those. You don't even have to put a 0 in the leading. Like if it's 0.75, you don't have to put the 0. Now, take note that the 4 sides of the rectangular slots are composed of 2 arcs and 2 parallel lines. So these objects that look like they are rectangles on your drawing, they're really not. They are 2 straight lines with an arc on the top and an arc on the bottom. So just take note of that, and I'll show you how you create those. The 2 parallel lines are 0.5 millimeters apart from each other. All right, so I'm going to draw the first circle, and it's a diameter of 150. So that's going to be the center for everything else. So we have the outside circle is 150. The next circle is a radius of 70. So I could pick the circle command, pick the center point. Now it's asking me for the radius. So I could just type 70, enter. And then the next one is 45. If I hit enter, I'm back in the circle command. And then I could just find the center of the circle. And that is a radius of 45. So let me just stick with those for a second and show you how you can create these slots. So now that I have these 3 circles, what I could do is find the middle. I drew a line, pick the line command, find the middle, draw a line straight up. Now these object snaps might mess you up. So I always just go past everybody, fly right through. It's always easy to trim it later, it's safer. Even if sometimes it looks like it's perfectly straight, you might not notice it's slightly off, and it can really mess you up in the long run. So once I have that line there, I'm going to offset it, and it's 2.5. All right, so if you're not familiar with the offset command yet, it's this button right here. It's kind of like copy, but what's different about it is that you put the distance first before you pick the object. So I'm going to pick the offset command, and it says specify the offset distance. And my offset distance is 2.5, half of the 5. So now that I have that, I get this red box, which is known as the pick box. So that wants me to select an object. I'm going to select a line. And now after that, I have the option of going left or right. And it's going to, depending on which way I move the cursor, it's going to put it a line 2.5 to the left or 2.5 to the right. So I'm going to move it to the right, click the button, and then to the left and click the button. Now, what I could do is keep the original line, but I'm going to change the layer. So I'm going to click on it and change the layer to center layer. That way, I still have it later on for reference, but at this moment, I can turn it off by freezing it. So I hit the freeze button, then click the item, and I didn't erase it. I just got it out of the way for a second. And now what I could do is trim. So pick the trim command. I could select everything as a knife. Get rid of those pieces. And there's my slot. Before I do the next step, I want to join this together. J for join. Select the three of these. Now, you know it's good if I click it, and if your quick properties box pops out, you can tell it's just one item. I'll show you, because before I did that, there were 4 items there. But when I join it together, it's just 1 item. Now that I have that 1 item created, I can draw the other circles I need. So I need that other, let me bring back my center lines. So if you drop this down, you can see the little snowflake next to the center. So if you click on that snowflake, you thaw it out, you get the sunshine, and the red line comes back, the center line comes back. Make current. This is a cool trick. If there's a layer on the screen that you want to make the current layer, and you might not even know what the name of it is, you could just pick the make current and then pick that. And now that's the current layer. So I want to draw a circle with a diameter of 100. And I'm going to put from the center here, make current. Now I have the center point for this circle, diameter of 20. And then I need that one in the middle. So make current, the red layer again, the center layer. And it's a diameter of 50. Make current. We'll put this right here. And its diameter is 10.5. And in the center, there's a circle with a diameter of 25.4. Okay. So what I could do is, again, use my freeze button. Then I can go to polar array. Select the objects I want to array, the slot, this circle, and this circle. It's usually under, usually it says rectangular array. You drop this down and you get polar array. You select the slot, the circle, and this circle. Hit enter. Now it's asking at the command line, specify the center point of the array. The center point of the array is right here. This is where everything's going to spin from. This is the center of the universe. What? You just finished the whole drawing like that? Are you magical? Yes, I am. Now, uncheck this, associative. Yeah, well, it's pretty much set to 6. That's the default, so it just worked out perfectly. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so let's look at the questions. Move the entire drawing of a polar distance of 15 at an angle of 5. So we're gonna move, select all the objects, enter, pick anywhere on the screen, then enter at 15 less than 5. So polar coordinates. Enter. So just move that object. The new XY coordinate value of the center of the coupler is. So if you have your quick properties turned on, you could pick this circle or the big circle. It's all being recorded. So it tells you the X and Y. 194.94, comma, 121.31. Letter B. Yes. Yeah. No, I think your eyes are closed. It's okay. It's okay. Now we went over those before. This is questions for the coupler. Okay. Well, yeah, we're doing this one now. We'll go over that later. We're live. The center to center distance between any two adjacent 20mm diameter holes is. So how do we get that? I'm going to draw a line between any two of these circles. So from here to here. Once I have that, I can click on it, look at the properties, and the length is 50. See on the quick properties, it says length. So the length of the line is 50. So that's letter B. "13. The surface area of the coupler with the holes and the slots removed is closest to." So it says closest to, and they're giving you multiple choice answers, but you should really not even have, there should not be a guess after the computer tells you an answer. It should be like, all right, that's it. So let's go to area, add, object. You select the big circle, then you hit enter, S, O. Now you go around and you pick every item until it turns brownish red. Doesn't matter what order you pick them, but you just want to get them all done. Try not to click on them twice because then it will count them twice. If you look at right above the command line, the first line above it, it says 14,010.01. So the closest one is C. So the answer is C. I'm going to review that again. It's definitely a tricky thing. You type area, hit enter. Now at the command line, it's giving you options. Options are what's in the brackets. So you can pick object, add, subtract. So we want to do add first. So A for add, enter. Now, how do you get the item? You're going to use the object, O, enter. You pick the object. Now, a lot of people forget this part. Hit enter. So now we want to do S for subtract, O for object, and then pick all the objects.
S enter or S O enter?
S enter, O enter. And then the answers at the command line. 14,010. If you keep clicking on items, you can see the color changes and you can see the number got bigger. Smaller actually, because I'm subtracting. You can see the numbers changing at the bottom there. I'm going to run through that one more time. Area, A, enter, O, enter, pick the item, enter, S, enter, O, enter, and then pick the items. The angle formed in the XY plane from the midpoint of line A, this one really gets people because they're thinking the midpoint of line A must be right here. And AutoCAD will actually snap to that, so it tricks you even more. But line A, this thing's a slot. This is not a line. But this thing is made up of 2 lines and 2 arcs. And it's really hard to tell the arc. Even on here, you barely see that curve, but that's a curve at the top and the bottom. This is the line. This is the midpoint of line A. So the midpoint of line A to the center of the 20 diameter B. So I want you to go from here to the center of B. That's where the center point, if you were drawing this by hand with a compass, that's where you put the needle of the compass. So the center of B from A. The angle formed in the XY plane. So what that means is, if this is the 0, you come around halfway is 180 plus whatever the remainder is. So if I was to go to annotations and put the angle on here, your answer would be 70 plus 180. So you can do that math, and it's not too tricky, of course, but even easier way than doing that whole operation I just did. You don't need this line and this line. You could just pick on this with the properties, and it tells you right there the angle is 250, which was 70 plus 180.
Now, if you drew that,
That's okay.
if you drew that line from the other together.
Correct. Because it has to go, AutoCAD goes counterclockwise, so that's why we're counting it that way. If this is not on your quick properties yet, how do you do that? On this bar right here, put the cursor on the bar, right click, customize. Then this tells you right now you're highlighting the line command. So anytime you pick a line, this is what information the computer is going to give it to you. So you can customize this to what you like to look for. So you're going to look for the angle, the length, the delta X, and the delta Y is a good idea. Line type, scale, line type, layer, and color. And the start of the X and Y. So that's pretty much what you're going to need for these equations to get these answers. Then you hit apply and OK. Right. So change all the 20 diameter holes to 25. So how do we do that? So what you could do is pick up all the circles out of 20s, the 6 of them. And you can go to the quick properties again. So that's why quick properties are very handy. You definitely want to get used to this. And at the status bar, make sure that it's highlighted, the quick properties one. It kind of looks like a little square, a little calculator or something. Then anytime you pick on an item on the screen, it actually pops up. By default, this is not at the status bar. So you would have to hit these 3 lines and make sure you have the quick properties, a little check mark next to it. All this check mark tells you it's gonna show up on the status bar down there. And then on the status bar, it's like your dashboard of your car. You can very quickly look at what's turned on or off. So now that I made the circles bigger, I got to do that area thing again. So one last time, area, add object, select the object, enter, subtract object. Same process I just did. So if I just went too fast, you can rewind it to the other process. But you're going to get a different answer now because the circles are bigger. 12949.72. So the closest is letter C. All right, so that's the coupler, and that's how you get the answers. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.